Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. In this video, we will continue where we started off in our previous video, where I showed you how to solve problems involving the alligation alternate method. The alligation alternate method is used in a pharmaceutical setting to calculate the number of parts of two or more components of a given strength when they are to be mixed to prepare a mixture of a desired strength. So we've already looked at questions 1 and 2. Now we'll be moving on to questions 3 and 4. Where in question 3 it reads, how many grams of white petrolatum should be mixed with 250 grams of 5% and 750 grams of 15% zinc oxide ointments to prepare a 10% ointment? Now, in case you don't know, petrolatum is essentially petroleum jelly, and it is used as a filler for the substances. What I will do to tackle this problem is find out first how much active ingredient is found in each of these individual solutions. And I can easily do that by taking the mass of each of them, for example 250 grams, and multiply it by its percentage. So 250 grams times 0.05 made into a decimal. This will give me the amount of active ingredient found within this mixture. So I'll take 250, multiply it by 0.05, and this gives me 12.5 grams of zinc oxide is only found within this. Now you'll see why I'm doing this in a moment. So let me just go ahead and figure it out for the other one as well. 750 times 0.15. Let's find out how much active ingredient we get from this one alone. And it is 112.5 grams. 112.5 grams. Now if I were to combine these, I would get 1,000 grams in total. And of that 1,000 grams, we would have these two added up as the amount of active ingredient. So if I add up the number on my screen plus 12.5, I get 125 grams of active ingredient simply by adding up these two mixtures. And the percentage can be found by taking 125 grams of active ingredient and dividing by the total mass being 1,000 grams. So this divided by 1,000 makes 1 over 8 or 0.125, and I'll multiply this by 100% to get 12.5%. So what you can do moving forward is just assume that you have a mixture that's 1,000 grams and 12.5% of it is active ingredient. Remember, let's stick to the goal of this question. How many grams of white petrolatum or petroleum jelly do we need to make 10%? So we're starting with a 12.5%, and the petroleum jelly consists of 0% active ingredient. So underneath this 12.5%, I'll put 0% active ingredient of the white petrolatum jelly. And I'll use the same sort of method as I used over here, where I had, let me just erase this, where I have this chart to help me organize my work. The first column is percents given, so I'll write down 12.5 for A and 0 to represent the active ingredient for the petroleum jelly. And the desired percent will be 10%. So I'll put 10% over here. And to find out the amount of parts that I need for each of these, so I'll call this A and B, to find out the amount of parts, do the following. Take 12.5 minus 10% and put that number over here, which equals to 2.5 parts. That's the amount of parts you need for the petroleum jelly. And the amount of parts you need from the 12.5% mixture can be found by taking this value, 10, minus 0, and place it up there. So 10 minus 0 is 10. You need 10 parts of the 12.5% mixture and 2.5 parts of the petroleum jelly in order for you to make up a 10% mixture. This ratio reduces down to 4 to 1, and you can find that out simply by dividing each of these values by the smaller of the two values, which is 2.5. So dividing 2.5 by 2.5 makes 1, and dividing 10 by 2.5 makes 4. The mass of this mixture is 1,000. So I'll place that value underneath, 1,000 grams. And the amount of mass, which is what we're looking for in the question, how many grams of this jelly do we need, is unknown. So I'll place an X underneath. And from here we can calculate a proportion. 4 parts of the 12.5% over 1 part of the 0% is equal to 1,000 grams over X. We can solve for X by cross multiplying. So 1 times 1,000 makes 1,000, and 4 times X makes 4X. Dividing both sides by 4 gives us 250 grams. To help you interpret this, we need 1,000 grams of the mixture that we created by mixing these two together, plus 250 grams of petroleum jelly, which has no active ingredient, in order for us to get a mixture that is 10% ointment. Now obviously this mixture will have 1,250 grams in total, because if you add 250 with 1,000 you get 1,250, and that will ensure a 10% active ingredient concentration. In question number 4, how many grams of zinc oxide should be added to 3,200 grams of 5% zinc ointment to prepare an ointment containing 20% of zinc oxide? Now that I've made some space, we'll use the same sort of technique as before, using this chart. So we're starting with 5% zinc oxide that has this mass, and we want to create something that's stronger, that's 20%. So using this chart that I've been using for the past several examples, I'll write down 5% underneath here, and we have pure zinc oxide to work with. And that pure zinc oxide has a 100% active ingredient concentration. We're looking to create 20%. So to find the amount of parts of A and the amount of parts of B, we do 10 minus 20, which makes 80 parts. 80 parts of the 5%. And 20 minus 5 makes 15. 15 parts of the pure zinc oxide. This ratio can be written as 15 parts zinc oxide, that's a Z and an O, that's its chemical formula, to 80 parts of the 5%. This ratio reduces down to 3 to 16. So 3 parts of the zinc oxide and 16 parts of the 5% will end up giving us a 20% concentration. Now they're asking for the mass of zinc oxide. So we will create a proportion. 3 over 16 is equal to 3,200 goes underneath here. That's the mass of the 5%. This row represents that. And we can find the mass of the zinc oxide, the pure zinc oxide, by cross multiplying. So 16 times X makes 16X. And 3,200 times 3 is 9,600. Dividing both sides by 16 to solve for X. So 9,600 divided by 16 makes 600. We need 600 grams of the pure zinc oxide for us to get a 20% concentration.